Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shreji Kishore Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Okay, sure. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for some more devotees to join us. Thank you, everyone, for joining so far. Shall I start sharing the screen?
Yes, the screen is already being shared, Prabhu.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I can see chapter 6.
All right. All right. Jyoti's actually shared the screen. Sorry, I didn't realize. Okay.
So today, Prabhuji, we have
Hare Krishna.
Sonal Mataji and dear Yashwant reciting. Hare Krishna, Jyoti Mataji.
Krishna Mataji. So we have dear Yashwant and
Sonal Mataji reciting the Sanskrit.
okay. So if maybe we can start Mataji.
Is Sonal Mataji with us?
I can't see the name.
No, I can't see the name either. She did confirm earlier on that she would be joining. Can we wait a couple of minutes like Prabhuji suggested?
Yeah. Oh, Prabhuji is here. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh, Hare Krishna, is that Jyoti
Yes,
today?
Jyoti. Yes, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I'll just make you host now. Is it
Yeah.
okay if I share the screen because it's just ready now?
Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to scroll down,
Yeah.
you can do as well. I've
Okay,
got my
now-
screen set up too.
Okay, and I'll make you host. Where is your...
Jyotiben and everyone, just to let you know, I'll be speaking a little bit about Radharani today because it's the auspicious day of Radhashtami today, and also a little bit about Jagannath Rath Yatra, when Lord Jagannath meets Srimati Radharani at the end.
Yeah, that would be nice, Prabhuji. I saw you at the Yatra today.
Yeah, I was there Radhashtami in the
Yes,
morning,
there,
and then
yes.
quickly rush off to Rath Yatra, then come back, have a shower, get changed, and quickly get all my sort of details ready for the Radharani stories as well. So I've got a lot of details of Radharani. We really want everyone to be engaged today. I'll be sharing the lotus feet of Radharani and also
That'll be
the
fine.
26 qualities of Radharani. So I want all of you to participate today, please.
Yeah, we can't hear you very clearly, Prabhuji. Somehow the speech is not very clear.
Is it better now?
It seems like you're very far, miles away. Can you
Yes,
come closer to the mic or something?
That's unusual because the mic's right close to me. Let me
Oh,
just
I
go.
see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but there is a
Okay.
hiss coming in the background.
Oh, that's unusual.
Sound.
Let me change the. Look.
That's better. The hissing sound has gone. Let me see if Sonal Mataji has joined us. Sonal Mataji, have you joined us? I can't see the name
Mataji, I
there.
can't
So
see the
maybe we can ask. Yeah, we can ask a volunteer to read. If Krishangi Mataji would like to recite the Sanskrit, please.
Yes, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
try anyway.
Thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot at the last minute, but
That's
Sonal Mataji has not joined. Okay, so
okay. Shall I start?
if you're ready, please start. And is Yashwant with us? Yashwant?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you are there. All right. So please start. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Up till 19, yeah? It's
Yes, from
text.
1 to 19. Thank you.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Suta Uvacha. Evam Nishmaya Bhagwan. Devase Janma Karma Cha. Bhuya Prapachatam Brahman. Vyasa Satyavati Sutaha.
Sutta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows.
Text 2. Vyasa Uvacha. Bhikkhushubhi Yupravasite. Vignanadesh Tava Vatmano Vyasya Adi. Tata Kim Akrod Bhavan.
Sri Vyasadeva said, What did you, Narada, do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth?
Text 3. Sambhuva Kaya Vritya Vrititam Te Param Vayam Katham Chedam Utasha Kshitha Kale Prapte Kalevaram.
O son of Brahma, how did you pass your life after initiation? And how did you attain this body, having quit your old one in due course?
Text 4. Praka Kalpa Vishayam Etam Shivuttim Te Munisatam Nahi Esa Vyavadhata Kal Esha Sava Nirakritihi.
O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course, so how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time?
Text 5. Narad Huacha Bhikshu Vipravasite Vignana Desh Tripi Mama Vatmano Vyasha Adi Tata Eda Akasharam Akarsam.
Sri Narada said, the great sages who had imparted scientific knowledge or transcendence to me departed for other places, and I had to pass my life in this way.
Text 6. Ekatmaja me janani Yoshin Mudacha Kinkari Mai Atmaje Nanya Gato Chakre Sneha no Bandhanam.
I was the only son of my mother, who was not a simple woman but a maidservant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. She bound me with the tie of a head.
Text 7. Shasvatantra na kalpasi yogo shema mamechati ishayehi vase loko yasha dhurmai yatha.
She wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master.
Text 8. Cha tad brahma kule ushivam tad upekshaya digdesha kala vyukta pano balaka pancha hayanaha.
When I was a mere child of 5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and had no experience of different lands.
Text 9. Ekada nirgatam grahe duhantim nisikam patti sarpo dasat padak spustah krupanam kala choditaha.
Once upon a time, my poor mother, when going out one night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent influenced by supreme time.
Text 10. Tada tad aham isheshya bhaktanam sam abhipasata anugraham manyamanaha pratistham disam uttaram.
I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotees. And so thinking, I started for the north.
Text 11. Sritanjanapadam tatra puragram rajakaran keta karvata gatischa vanya upavanani cha.
After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests.
Text 12. Chitra dhatu vichitra dhrin Iva bhagna bhuja dhruvan Jalashayan chiva jalan Nalini shura sevitaha Chitra swane satra rather Vibramad brahmara shiyaha.
I passed through the hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and through tracts of land with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds.
Text 13. Nalvenu sharastanva Pushak kichak gavaram Ekavatiatoham Adraksha vipinam mahat Ghoram pratibhaya karam Vayalo lukam shivajiram.
I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, and caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited a deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals.
Text 14. Parishantendriya maham trita parito bhupishitaha snatva pitva rade nandiya upaprishito gata sramaha.
Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion.
Text 15. Tasmin nirma nuje rane people's low pasta ashitaha atmanatmanam atmastham yatha shrutam achintayam.
After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree, and in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from liberated souls.
Text 16. Dhyayatas charanam bhujam bhava nijita chetasa ohot kalthaya sru kalakshaya shashya hridya asin me sane hariha.
As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna appeared on the lotus of my heart.
Text 17. Premanati bharani nirbhina pula kango tini vrataha anand samplave dhino na pashyam ubhyam mune.
O Vyasadeva, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened, being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy. I could not see both myself and the Lord.
Text 18. Rupam bhagavata yattam manakantam suchapaham apashyan sahasastaste vaikhalyaya durmana iva.
The transcendental form of the Lord, as it is, satisfies the mind desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed, as is usual when one loses that which is desirable.
Text 19. Didiksha tad aham bhujaya pranindhaya manoridi viksham manokina pashyam avitrupta ivatrupturaha.
I desired to see again that transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempts to concentrate upon the heart with eagerness to view the form again, I could not see him anymore, and thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you very much, Yashwant and Krishnani Mataji. That was really nicely recited, both the Sanskrit and the English. Thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, just wanted to make sure you can see this, okay? Anyone? I can see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so today's Srimad Bhagavatam verse is Canto 1, Chapter 6, verse number 12. Chitradara vichadradrin iba bhagya bhujadrumam shalashayan chivachalan nalini surasitaha chitraswane patrarate abhramat pamara shriyaha. I read the translation. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and through tracts of lands with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers, fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds. Right. Show the video. Okay, verse 13. Nala vinu sharastama kushaki chaka chadravam ekayavati yatoham adakshim vipanam mahat ghora pratibhayakara vayalolukashi vajiram. Word for word translation. Nala, pipes. Venu, bamboo. Shara, pens. Tamba, full of. Kusha, sharp grass. Kichaka, reeds. Kavaram, caves. Ekaha, load. Eva, only. Atiyataha, difficult to go through. Aham, I. Adaksha, visited. Vipanam, deep forest. Mahat, great. Gora, fearful. Patibhaya akaram, dangerously. Yala, snakes. Luka, owls. Shiva, jackals. Ajiram, playgrounds. Translation and Papa by His Divine Grace, His Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboos, reeds, sharp grass, weeds and caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals. Purport. It is the duty of a mendicant, Parivayachakacharya, to experience all varieties of God's creation by traveling alone through all forests, hills, dams, villages, etc., to gain faith in God and strength of mind, as well as to enlighten the inhabitants with the message of God. Sannyasi is duty-bound to take all these risks without fear, and the most typical sannyasi of the present age is Lord Chaitanya, who travelled in the same manner through the central Indian jungles, enlightening even the tigers, bears, snakes, deers, elephants, and many other jungle animals. In this age of Kali, sannyas is forbidden for ordinary men.
It's all right, not Sambal. Krishna, Govinda, Samdhana, not Kotte.
You can't hear. Can you all hear me or not hear me?
We can hear.
Yeah, okay. In this age of Kali, sannyas is forbidden for ordinary men. One who changes his dress to make propaganda is a different man from the original ideal sannyasi. One should, however, take the vow to stop social intercourse completely and devote life exclusively to the service of the Lord. The changes of dress is only formality. Lord Chaitanya Lord Chaitanya did not accept the name of a sannyas, and in the age of Kali, the so-called sannyasis should not change their former names, following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, devotional service of hearing and repeating the holy glories of the Lord is strongly recommended, and one who takes the vow of renunciation of family life need not imitate the Parivachakacharya like Narada or Lord Chaitanya, but may sit down at some holy place and devote his whole time and energy to hear and repeatedly chant the holy scriptures left by the great acharyas like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Translation once more. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds and caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes and jackals. So I'm just going to recite the prayers. Just before I do that, I'm just going to see if I can change. Just want to make sure you can hear me okay. So I'll just quickly recite the invocation prayers. So you join in, please. Om Jnana Timandasya Gana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakam Balam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopishwara Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhara Sata Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vanchakapatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Charu Swami Tinamane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesa Sannivadi Paschacharya Satarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sorry, the other verse I should have recited at the beginning was Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Your audio is creating a lot of noise.
Sorry, say that again?
Your audio is creating a lot of interference. It's not very clear at all.
Okay, that's unusual. Let me try something else. Is that better?
It's still hissing.
It's a little better, but there's still quite a hiss in the background.
Yeah, that's unusual. There's nothing else going on in the background at all. So I'm sorry about this. To see if I could do something else. The other way is if I switch off the okay, can you hear me okay now?
We can't hear you, Prabhuji, but there is still a lot of this hissing noise. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's back.
Okay.
Overall,
Okay, is that better at all?
No, Prabhuji.
No. I'm not sure what's wrong. It's the same setup I have all the time, so
Yeah.
okay. Try another headphones. Sorry about this. Sorry, just 1 minute. Okay, is that better at all? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you. The hissing sound is
Yeah.
still there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is. I have the same setup every time, so I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason I can't get my video started either. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'll just carry on. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotanam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamadevaya. Yasashu Bhadreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavata Bhatam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Sorry for any hissing sound in the headphones which I'm using. It's normally the same setup which I normally have, so I'm not sure what the problem is. I've tried to check if there's any interference. Can't seem to find anything. But anyway, if I could just ask for the blessings of my special master, Bhakti Swami, Srila Prabhupada, and also all the blessings for the devotees listening as well. If I could say something favourable that is pleasing to one's heart in for Krishna. Thank you. So, as we can see, the description about sannyasi that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the Prabhupada that a sannyasi should be able to take any risk without fear and be able to travel around without any sort of reasonings or reservations. I know most of us, we tend to always want to be somewhere where it's comfortable, where it's favourable, whether we're travelling to India or going somewhere to visit some place or somebody, see somebody. We want something which is very comfortable and easy. We don't like to have any distress in our journey, any difficulties. You know, we get when you're just driving along and every traffic light you come across is always a red light and you get frustrated. But for a sannyasi, he's completely free from all this duality, whether it's in happiness or distress, anxiety, or any difficulties that he may be facing, victory or defeat, gain or loss. In the Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna mentions to Arjuna, it's chapter 2, verse number 14, Matra Spashashtu Kantaya, Shitoshna Shupadukada, Nampayuna Nityas Dantatix Vishvabarata. Srila Prabhupada quotes this particular verse very often, and basically the translation is a person should not be disturbed by the happiness or distress of whatever he sees in whatever it's a hot season or cold season. You know, he's happy to work in any situation without any difficulties. So here the sannyasi is not an ordinary person as well. Sometimes you hear the name sannyas referred to as paramahamsa. The word param is great and hamsa refers to what do you call it, a swan. So does anybody know why sometimes a great saintly person is referred to as swan at all? So normally when you see a swan, he has the ability to siphon the milk which is mixed with the natural water in a lake or a pond which it's floating on. So through its natural the beak, when it swallows the water or sucks in the water, it can actually siphon the milk itself. And the same reason a sannyasi, whether he's having any sort of duality faced or challenges he faces in his life, he just takes away all the positivity of that particular situation. Sometimes you see like a crow, it's just in a garbage heap, it just wants to take garbage all the time. But when you see something else like a peacock, you never see a peacock in a garbage place. So sannyasis are also compared to like peacocks because they just want to be somewhere where it's more pure by nature, where he could actually elevate himself into an advanced stage in Krishna consciousness. We all have, this situation in our life. We have to go through these stages, the 4 stages of life: brahmachari, grihastha ashram, eventually vanaprastha when you come to that retired stage, and then eventually to a sannyas level. But most of us may not be able to take that order of a sannyas because we don't want to be completely detached. We still have some attachment because we're not completely surrendered to Krishna. And the sannyasi is completely devoid of all sense of prestige, and it's always ready to offer all respects to others. But for a sannyasi, his main goal is to actually serve, or rather to actually preach Krishna consciousness around the world. Whether he's, sometimes Srila Prabhupada used to take some of his disciples to communist places like China and Russia, other places where preaching was not so practical, like in some of the places in Africa. And a lot of the devotees met through a lot of opposition by the political parties. A lot of people in Russia, the devotees, were persecuted for preaching Krishna consciousness or discussing something which has not actually been accepted by their own sort of political society. And if you know a devotee called Prabhu, he was a great sort of pioneer in preaching in some of these communist countries. And in one of the other places he went to was also in the Middle East, in Lebanon. And during that time, I don't know if you remember, in the 70s, there was a lot of news between the conflict between Lebanon and Israel. And during that time, there was a lot of top secret agents who were following the devotees around, thinking that they were actually spies. And their temple was actually opposite the PLO base as well. I can't remember where it was, in Beirut or somewhere. But it just so happened that that whole building, the whole PLO headquarters was demolished, was attacked. And that affected the devotees as well, because as soon as the devotees, they were there and they got caught as well, they assumed that they were part of the PLO group, and they were imprisoned and so forth. And they were actually tortured, put into jail, fed meat as well, which Govinda refused to have. So despite all the difficulties and challenges and the persecution, he still was very, very completely fixed in Krishna. He did not have any fear. We always have fear in our life. It's one of the things that we always worry about, whether it's fear, stress, a certain situation that we cannot overcome at all, or cannot resolve at all. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna actually mentions the word, or there's a particular 2 verses that refers to fear, attachment and anger. And I'll share the first one with you. This is chapter 2, verse 56. Takeshva no tvigna mana shakeshu vigatas priya vita raga bhayakoda stita muni uchate. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated with there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. So this is referring to a sannyasi, a sage of steady mind, one who is completely detached, renounced, who is not affected by any sort of difficulties that he may face or challenges in his life. He's completely free from attachment. The only attachment he has is attachment for Krishna. He's completely fearless. That's another name for Abhaycharan, one who is fearless. And then he's free from anger as well. If he has to become angry, it is in the mood of protecting the devotees, or the mood of ensuring that nobody is blaspheming Krishna or its associates or anything that's associated to Krishna himself. So these are the three main things that Krishna mentions, and he mentions this particular three words again to Arjuna, and that is in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 10. And I'll read the sloka. Vitaraga Bhayakuda Manmaya Mam Upashitaha Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Buddha Manbhavamagrataha. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. And that is what our goal is, to attain transcendental love for Krishna. We have difficulties in our life, which we have to learn how to overcome those difficulties. Just like when Krishna is telling Arjuna about controlling the mind, but Arjuna is saying, oh, it's so difficult to control the mind. It's far easier to control the wind, the mind itself. But what does Krishna say? You know, wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must suddenly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So we've all heard that, you know, within a few seconds, thousands and thousands of different thoughts and processes are coming through our mind. Even in your dreams, you may dream of something which is not completely related to Krishna, you know, and you think, well, how come, you know, I'm praying every day, I'm doing my regular, you know, day to worship at home, I'm reading, I'm chanting, I'm offering this offering to Krishna every day. How is it that I have these disturbed dreams or dreams which are not related to Krishna? On the other hand, sometimes you may be very, very fixed and very focused. You may be reading a lot of Srimad Bhagavatam, you may be watching a lot of videos of related to Krishna consciousness, but your dream has actually absorbed in certain thoughts that you've had over that particular time when you've been actually focused on Krishna's names, forms, glories and pastimes. Many years ago I was doing a video of putting a compilation of video of Srila Prabhupada. It was for the centennial 100th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada. There was a video presentation and I had to go through many videotapes of Srila Prabhupada, condense it all together and put it in like a 10-minute video. And I remember having so many wonderful dreams about Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada coming, you know, in the dreams saying, come, let's come to see the Lordship Shri Radha Gopalananda. And the dreams were specific to the videos which I saw, you know, as if I was happy to be there. So the more you get absorbed in reading, chanting, hearing, you know, from those who are completely dedicated and associated to those who are dedicated to Krishna, then automatically your life changes and transforms. Sometimes in life, many devotees go through a lot of frustration in their life. They think they're not progressing, And usually it's those people who like to have the best of both worlds. They like the spiritual life, they may like the kirtans, they may like the prasadam, but they may find it difficult waking up early in the morning. They may not enjoy chanting 16 rounds every day or even following the 4 regulator principles. But on the material aspects, they like to, you know, perhaps do things which are not so favorable in Krishna consciousness. So when you mix the two together, it's like a, you know, chemical, it's a recipe for disaster, because you're trying to, in one hand, trying to connect yourself to Krishna, but you're not getting any steps further towards Krishna because of your material attachment. And when that material attachment comes, then what happens? Then frustration happens. There's that verse, it is lust only, O Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion, later transformed into wrath, which is the old divine principle of life itself. So when you actually go to that particular frustration of anger, it completely destroys your spiritual life, and then you have to almost like start over all over again, you know. We have to be very careful to protect ourselves, because if we don't protect ourselves spiritually, then we will actually fall down. So now, if it's okay with you, I'll just speak a little bit about Srimati Radharani, because as you know, today is the special occasion of Srimati Radharani's appearance day, and also today was a wonderful celebration of Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra in London, if those devotees who are fortunate to take darshan of Lord Jagannath Subhadra Baladev after recovering from their illness. We had a Snana Yatra last week at Bhaktivedanta Manor. A wonderful opportunity for everyone to bathe Lord Jagannath here, see how merciful Lord Jagannath is. You know, normally you would have to be Brahmin initiated, you would have to be all to clean, fresh clothing, so forth. But here, you know, everybody had a chance to bathe Lord Jagannath. He is so merciful, nobody was restricted. You know, of course, there are some rules and, you know, commitments that we all have to face as well. Are we also worthy of bathing Lord Jagannath? It's not just Lord Jagannath is merciful, but sometimes when you become more conscious in your spiritual life, people may think, well, I haven't had a bath or feet and I don't feel so clean. Let me go and clean myself quickly and wash my mat, wash my face, and then let me bathe Lord Jagannath. So here Krishna, in the form of Lord Jagannath, has been very merciful and allowing all of us to bathe him. So first of all, I was just going to read about a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, Approaching Srimati Radharani, and the lecture was given in London in 1971 and 73. So I'll try and go through it because there is quite a bit of wonderful discussion about the approach of Srimati Radharani by Srila Prabhupada. So we should try to understand Radharani's feature. Radharani is the pleasure potency, Alladini Shakti, Ananda Maya Vyasat, Vedanta Sutra 1.1.12. In the Vedanta Sutra, the Absolute Truth is described as Anandamaya, always in pleasure potency. When you want Ananda, pleasure, you cannot have it alone. Alone you cannot enjoy. When you are in the circles of friends, or family, or other associates, you feel pleasure, just like I am speaking. The speaking is very pleasing when there are many persons here. I cannot speak alone here. That is not Ananda. I can speak here at night, dead of night, and nobody here. That is not Ananda. Ananda means there must be others. So because Krishna, the Absolute Truth, is Anandamaya, therefore Eko Bahu Sham, he has become many. We are also Krishna's part and parcel to give pleasure to Krishna. And the chief pleasure potency is Srimati Radharani. So it goes on further explaining some of the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I'll speak to you or show later on as well, about the 26 qualities of Srimati Radharani. We pray to Radharani because she is the pleasure potency of Krishna. Krishna means all attractive, but Radharani is so great that she attracts Krishna. So Radharani is so great, she attracts Krishna. Krishna is all attractive, and she is attractive, attractor of Krishna. So what is the position of Srimati Radharani? We should try to understand this day and offer our obeisances to Radharani, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Tapta Kanchana Gaurange, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. I offer my respects to Radharani. His bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Our business is Radharani. You are so dear to Krishna, so we offer our respectful obeisances to you. Radharani is Haripriya, very dear to Krishna. So we approach Krishna through Radharani, through the mercy of Radharani, then it becomes very easy. Radharani recommends that this devotee is very nice, and Krishna immediately accepts, whoever fools I may be. Because it is recommended by Radharani, Krishna accepts. Therefore in Vrindavan you find all the devotees they are chanting more Radharani's name than Krishna's. Wherever you go, you'll find the devotees are addressing Jaya Radhe. You'll find still in Vrindavan. They're glorifying Radharani. They are more interested in worshipping Radharani because, however fallen I may be, some way or other I can please Radharani, then it is very easy for me to understand Krishna. Otherwise, if you go by the speculative process to understand Krishna, it will take many, many lives. But if you take devotional service, just try to please Radharani, and Krishna will be gotten very easily, because Radharani can deliver Krishna. She is so great devotee. She is so great devotee, the emblem of Mahabhagavat. Even Krishna cannot understand what Radharani's quality. Even Krishna, although he says, Vedaha Samatitani, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 726, I know everything, still he fails to understand Radharani. Radharani is so great, he says that actually Krishna knows everything. In order to understand Radharani, Krishna accepts the position of Radharani. Krishna wanted to understand the potency of Radharani. Krishna thought that I am full, I am complete in every respect, but still I want to understand Radharani. Why? This is the propensity made, obliged to accept the propensities of Radharani to understand Krishna himself. So later on it explains about the reason why Krishna, although he cannot understand Radharani himself, even though he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he comes down as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani, Radharani Shakti, pleasure potency. And then from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can actually feel the mood of Radharani, the feeling of separation, Vripalamba. Then the Goswamis, they also, yeah. So if I just finish this bit off. These are of course very transcendental, great science. One who is advanced in Krishna consciousness and well conversant with the Shastras, they can understand, but still they can discuss from the Shastra. When Krishna wanted to understand himself, he took the tendency of Srimati Radharani, and that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Bhava Jyoti Savalitam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he accepted the propensities of Radharani. As Radharani is always in feeling of separation of Krishna, similarly in the position of Radharani, Lord Chaitanya was feeling separation of Krishna. That is the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, feelings of separation, not meeting. The process of devotional service taught by Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciple, disciplic succession, is how to full separation from Krishna. That is Radharani's position, always feeling the separation. Okay, there was another passage I wanted to read. I'll read that a bit later on. If I could just quickly share with you. Okay, sure. So this is so beautiful. So many of you have probably come across a message to say, why is Radharani's name never mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam? So does anybody know why that is? Or is there any tint of mentioning of Radharani in the Srimad Bhagavatam? So Sukadeva Goswami explains the Leelas, Krishna's Leela, the childhood pastimes, Krishna Balaram, his birth, his appearance, killing Kamsa and all the demons, his Shiva's childhood pastimes with the Gopas and the Gopis, to stealing the garments of the Gopis. But does anybody know why Radharani is not mentioned? So I'll read it here for you. Radharani's name in the Bhagavatam. We find Radharani's name is not mentioned in Bhagavatam. Sometimes unfortunate people do not accept Radharani because her name has not been mentioned in Bhagavatam. But Gaudiya acharyas have given different reasons for why her name has not been mentioned in Bhagavatam. Directly through, indirectly, it has been mentioned there. Sorry, I forgot to mention the book which I'm reading from is Srimati Radharani by His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami. It's a very beautiful book. So many wonderful pastimes and leelas of Srimati Radharani, childhood pastimes, a feeling of separation when Krishna went to Mathura, and then afterwards meeting Krishna after 100 years. So many beautiful topics discussing about the intimate pastimes of Srimati Radharani, of Gopi friends, and also Krishna. In this regard, Srila Sanatana Goswami in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita has mentioned Maharaj Parikshit told his mother Uttara, "Oh mother, my Gurudev, Srila Sukadeva Goswami has not been able to mention the name of any gopis when he was describing Srimad Bhagavatam. The reason for that is, if he would pronounce the name of any gopi, then in their remembrance he would feel acute burning love, and as he would feel very much ecstasy, which would make his throat choked and make him unable to recite Bhagavatam. Thus it would not be possible for him to continue recitation of Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita would be disrupted. That's why during the description of different pastimes like Rasa Leela, though he has explained the great mood of love, he did not mention anyone's name. Srila Sukadeva Goswami tried his best not to mention any gopi's name, but still he could not control himself. As a result, at one point he indirectly mentioned her name. When Shri Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Leela, all the gopis were searching for him. At one point, they saw the footprint of one gopi along with the footprint of Shri Krishna. The gopi said, Nayaradito Numam Bhagavan Hari Ishvaraha Yano Vihaya Govinda Viktoyam Anayatraha. Certainly, this particular gopi has perfectly worshipped the all-powerful personality of Godhead Govinda, since he was so pleased with her that he has abandoned the rest of us and brought her to a secluded place. In this verse, Srila Sukadeva Goswami has used the words Anaya Araditaha. In this word, Araditaha, Sukadeva has mentioned the name of Radha indirectly. So if you've read the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you've come across the story of the Rasa dance, and then all of a sudden Lord Krishna leaves the Rasa dance because he sees that the gopis are feeling very proud of themselves, and then he disappears, and the gopis are looking for him everywhere. They're searching for him, they're asking the trees, the creepers, everything that they come across in their path. Then they see the footprints of Krishna, and they see the footprint of another gopi, and this gopi happens to be Radharani, of course. So it's so beautiful. So it's quite confusing to a lot of newcomers who may say, well, we're worshipping Radha and Krishna everywhere around the world. Beautiful temples set up by Srila Prabhupada in the ISKCON temples. You know, how would we know who Radharani is, and where do these stories come from? But many stories are wonderfully described by Rupa Goswami, the 6 Goswamis, and many of the acharyas as well. So quickly, what I'll do, I'll share this page. I'll just read the first verse. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 23, Madhya Lila, chapter 23, verse 87 to 91. It talks about the 25 qualities of Srimati Radharani. Now this is where I want all of you to be involved. When I recite, I just want, if somebody could put their hand up who are happy to read the translation. In the meantime, everybody else could think of one particular quality that you feel you can connect to Srimati Radharani with this wonderful quality, and another quality you could suggest how would you like to improve yourself in that particular quality. So for instance, if Radharani is smiling, if one of our qualities, Radharani is always smiling, you may say, well, I connect to Radharani because she's always smiling, she's always happy, joyful, and makes me happy. Then another thing may be, oh, Radharani, she loves elderly people. Oh, this is something which I need to improve on. How can I help my father, my mother, or other elderly people? So, you know, don't feel shy. Think of one quality that you can relate to Srimati Radharani and one quality you would like to improve. So we just need one volunteer to read the 25 qualities of Srimati Radharani. Any volunteers? Are you all asleep? Or have I been on mute all this time? Krishnani Mataji, do you want to recite the 25 qualities of Srimati Radharani?
Yes, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. Can you see the screen?
Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendental qualities are: she is very sweet, she is always fresh and useful, her eyes are restless, she smiles brightly, she has beautiful auspicious lines, she makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma, she is definitely expert in singing, her speech is charming, She's very expert in talking and speaking pleasantly. She's very humble and meek. She's always full of mirth. She's funny. She's expert in executing her duties. She's sharp. She's always respectful. She's always calm. She's always brave. She's expert in enjoying life. She's considered at the topmost level of expected love. She's the raiser of loving affairs in Gokul. She's the most famous of submissive devotee. She's very affectionate to elderly people. She's very submissive to the love of her friends. She's a chief gopi. She's always keeps Krishna under her control. In short, she possesses unlimited scientific qualities, just as Krishna, Lord Krishna does. Correct.
Okay. Thank you so much. So does anybody want to say any qualities that they like to sort of feel connected to Radharani? What attracts you to Radharani? Which qualities of these attracts you to Srimati Radharani? Everyone's feeling shy.
I think 25.
25, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you, Krishanti Mataji, what is it that attracts Radharani to you?
Because I don't see anybody else can control Krishna as she does. You know? And she has all the scientific qualities like Lord Krishna.
Okay, that's
special here.
yeah. Okay, that's really nice. And is there one particular quality that you would like to improve? Obviously, we're not trying to be like Srimati Radharani, but one particular quality that you'd like to feel focused on how you can improve.
He's humble and meek.
Humble and meek, but you are already, so so no, that's good. At least you're honest. You would like to be more humble and meek, because these qualities aren't just for like a description of the personality of God, it's just for understanding how we actually reflect on how to be those qualities, just like those 26 qualities of a devotee. How do we associate ourselves? So that's really nice. Thank you so much. As you know, Radharani has unlimited qualities. In short, she possesses unlimited transcendental qualities, just as Krishna, but these are like principal qualities, 25. And similarly, Krishna has 64 principal qualities, and 4 more qualities more than what Lord Narayan has. And then one of the qualities Lord Krishna has, which Narayan doesn't have, is that he is, there is no one greater or equal to than Krishna himself. So that allows him to become the Supreme Lord, superior to Narayan's form. Anybody else would like to give a little explanation what qualities of Srimati Radharani that you feel attracts you to her? Okay. Sriji Mataji, Sriji Kishori Mataji, is there any qualities that attracts you to Radharani from here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Sriji.
I like all the qualities actually. I can't pick out any particular one.
Yeah.
They're all very attractive qualities.
Of course, yeah, and there are limited qualities that Krishna has, Radharani has. But is there one particular one that stands out more than any other qualities? Of course, they're all, you know, they're all on the same platform, but sometimes we have one from our own perspective.
Yes, I like number 15. She's always respectful. I think respect is very important. It's a very important quality to have.
Yeah.
I like that very much.
No, that's really nice. And is there one other quality that you may feel that you would like to improve on, that you would like to have improve your quality?
Everything really. I've got a lot to improve on.
I heard you're very good at singing because you teach a lot of devotees to sing, so that's nice. In fact, last week Mamta Mataji sang nicely the prayers for Radharani.
If anybody would like to sing tonight, it would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Not any practice.
So, Girish Bhai, what about yourself? Let's have somebody from the men. Anybody would like to say what qualities you like about Shrimati Radharani?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Gokeshwar. Hari
Hare Prabhuji, we are very far from all these qualities. So I think
Yeah,
to reach this level, I think not sure how many lives we need, but I think this, we should be calm in all those situations, respectful, and
yeah,
enjoy life uh, with Krishna's mercy. So I think there are all qualities to be improved, to be honest. But I think these one the important one, which and humble and meek. Right, I think we're very far from all these qualities.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have a long way to go.
yeah. And actually, what we were mentioning earlier on, I mean, just imagine we're trying to be devotees of Krishna, and Radharani said, no, this devotee is trying to be very sincere, Krishna, please accept him. Can you imagine, we also may want to become devotees of Radharani, and Krishna
Yeah,
may be saying, hey, Radharani, look, this devotee is, chanting nicely, remembering you, seeing your wonderful qualities, discussing and speaking about you to other devotees. Please, please, please accept him or her as well. So it can work both ways, because as Prabhupada was mentioning in Vrindavan, we all say Radhe Radhe, and it's
yeah,
something that we should learn to say Radhe Radhe to each other. We say Hari Bol, of course, and Hare Krishna, Prabhu,
yeah.
but Radhe Radhe is so nice. Can you imagine the potency in the name Radharani's name, which even attracts Krishna as well? So if we say Radhe Radhe, Krishna immediately comes.
True,
So,
Prabhuji. I had the same feeling when I recently went to Barsana,
okay,
where
yeah,
everybody was talking about Radhe, Radhe. Day
yeah,
and night it was like we just hear Radhe, Radhe.
yeah.
They
And you
don't
find,
call by name or they just tell Radhe, Radhe. Let's go.
yeah, yeah, that's really nice, yeah.
It, it's very nice, to talk or just speak Radhe Radhe all day and hear, all your ears are hearing every day and night about
Yeah,
Radhe Radhe only.
yeah, no, definitely. I was just going to share something else as well. I'm not sure if it'll work. I'll try. Okay, can you see the lotus print of Srimati Radharani?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so I'll just quickly explain all the different symbols of Srimati Radharani, if that's okay. So here, this is the left foot, and this is the right foot, because it's the reverse of what we normally see on top of our feet. These are from the sole of our feet. So there's different symbols, auspicious marks on the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. The lotus feet of Srimati Radharani bear the following auspicious marks as described by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Ujjvala Nilamani. At the base of a large toe of a left foot is the mark of a barley corn. That's that one here. Below that mark is a disc. Below the disc is an umbrella. And below the umbrella is a bracelet. And the base of the middle toe is a lotus. Below that is a flag with a banner. There's a lotus. There's a flag with a banner. And below the flag is a creeper together with a flower. There's a flower and there's a creeper. At the base of a small toe is an elephant goat. And upon her heel is half a moon. So there's a goat, there's an elephant goat, little toe, and there's the half a moon. And on the right hand side, that's the right 11 marks on the left foot. At the base of a large foot of a right foot is a conch shell, and below that is a spear. So there's a conch shell of the right foot and a spear. And at the base of a small toe of a right foot is a sacrificial altar, and below that an earring. There's the sacrificial altar, there's the earring. And according to this, below the earring it's got a spear here, but there should be a club, because the spear was here already. Along the base of the second and small toe is the mark of a mountain. Okay, there's the mountain itself. And below which is a chariot, and on the heel is a fish. There's the chariot, and there's the fish. So that's altogether, there are 19 distinguishing marks of the soles of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. So it'd be nice if it actually explained exactly what these particular symbols represent. certain things that we can understand, like the disc, the altar, sacrifice, corn shell, lotus flower. But the meaning of the fish, I suppose, is referring to Matsya. But that's my speculation. But if anybody knows, do let me know. So we're just coming to the end of the class now. I really wanted to thank everyone joining in. There was one other point I just wanted to mention about the story of Lord Jagannath. I won't take too long, just the last 5 minutes, 1 minute. So there is one history connected Srimati Radharani to Rath Yatra. In India, it is customary to go to a holy place at a time of a solar eclipse. It so happened 5,000 years ago, Krishna's friends from Vrindavan, the gopis and gopas, along with all the cows, went to the holy place of Kurukshetra. Sri Krishna was the king of Dwarka. At that time also came to Kurukshetra. When the gopis and gopas, headed by Sri Radha, heard that Krishna had arrived with his brother Balaram and sister Subhadra, they ran to see them. Finding them still on their chariots, they spontaneously stole them and pulled the chariots to where they had set up camp. This was the very first Rath Yatra and was led by Srimati Radharani. So I hope you all had a chance to pull Lord Jagannath, Subhadra and Baladev today. If not, there's always going to be an opportunity. But wanted to thank all of you, wanted to thank Srila Prabhupada, Founder Acharya Fishka, and also wanted to thank my spiritual master, Bhakti Swami, and all of you for listening. I don't know if there's any comments or points that anybody wanted to raise about today. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. I hope you all have a lovely week. Do keep chanting, keep reading. Once again, this beautiful book, if you haven't got it already, is Srimati Radharani by His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami. It's very good. It's got many, many beautiful stories of Srimati Radharani as well. And there's really beautiful pastimes which I never actually heard of. That's when Srimati Radharani, when Krishna comes and sees Srimati Radharani after 100 years. But I won't describe the story. I want you to all find out the story for yourself. Have that loving reflection with Srimati Radharani. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Panchakalpa tarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I do apologize for the hiss. I'll see if I can try and resolve that issue before the next class. Thank you very much, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It was a nice
Prabhuji.
class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.